Cassie Smedile is the former Deputy Communications Director at the Republican National Committee, now Chief Executive of America Rising, a political action committee. She joins us from Washington. Cassie, great to have you back on the program. Is this good for the Republican Party to have thrown Liz Cheney out, to be saying there isn't room for you in Republican leadership if you believe that the election was won by Joe Biden fairly?
Yeah, I take a little bit issue with how you set that up there. First of all, great to be back with both of you. But that's not what happened today. What happened today was the Republican conference being unified and saying, we need to all be on the same page. We're in the minority. We're trying to get in the majority. We're trying to put forward our ideas to the American people. And we can't do that if every time that we go out there to take the microphone, we're distracted by this issue. And so we need to have a unified leadership voice, which is the very purpose of having your leaders within your conference or the Democrat caucus to be the unified messengers for your party. And that wasn't happening. And I think, you saw people who even I think agree with Liz Cheney, voted the same way she did. And they even have said it's time to move on because we have to move forward. We have to take advantage of these precious opportunities to make our case to the American people. And there's so many fires burning on our home front right now that we can't afford to waste any more time not focusing on those issues at hand that are so important to the American people.
Cassie, not Casey, forgive me. Cassie, I get that, especially given the midterms coming up next year. It's important for the party to have a united front and not to be talking and relitigating endlessly the last election. The problem is that the former president, Donald Trump, is constantly relitigating the last election. And it seems unlikely, doesn't it, that he's suddenly going to stop talking about it. So if you've got Donald Trump talking about it, then why not have Liz Cheney talking about it as well?
Every member of Congress.
It's just hard to see how it's going to disappear as an issue.
Right. Every member of Congress, they get reelected by their constituents. They don't get reelected by the national media. They don't get reelected by the votes in their conference. They get reelected by their constituents back home. And so those are the conversations they need to focus on. Those are the voices that they need to be listening to. And the voices back home are saying, why is my gas going up? Why is my grocery bill going up? Why is our border in crisis mode? Why is there unrest in the Middle East again? And what are we doing about it? And right now, you've got a White House and a Democrat majority that is allowing all these fires to burn and saying, oh, by the way, give us trillions of dollars in your hard-earned money to pay for all of our ideas and all of our socialist spending instead of actually taking care of the issues at hand. So those are the real opportunities that the Republican Party has right now to show the American people that they're the ones fighting for them. And if you want to talk about the former president, there is an argument to be made about the successes of the last 4 years. And if you're going home and talking to your constituents, you're saying, did you like your 401k for the last 4 years? Did you like the prices at the grocery store and at the pump for the last 4 years? Did you like the opportunities to take on a new job over the last 4 years? That's what the Republican Party stands for. And that's what we can do if you give us the opportunity to resume the majorities in Washington. So again, all politics are local, and I think that's especially true in this case.
But I would take issue, Cassie, with what you said about the most important issue. Liz Cheney said yesterday the most conservative of conservative principles is our reverence for the rule of law. And the rule of law starts first and foremost with respecting an election.
Absolutely. And I think that you've got any number of representatives who are trying to get reelected. You want to talk about the rule of law? It's lawlessness at our border right now. That's a local issue for so many Americans who are saying what's happening on the national security front, what's happening as a health crisis, what's happening in our local communities and the economic impact that's having. So that also isn't being upheld. And again, this might be the news of this moment or of even this segment, but it is not the conversation that's driving people's dinner table conversations.
How can you continue to be the party of law and order if you are ignoring the central tenet of a democracy, which is the peaceful transfer of power?
Who's doing that? President Biden is in office.
He was impeached. He was impeached for inciting an insurrection on the Capitol.
But it was President Biden is in office. People are moving forward. We're trying to have votes. We're trying to put forth good policy positions. And yet now you've got the elected president of the United States, Joe Biden, and his administration, and the Democrats putting forth trillions of dollars in spending and saying, I know we still haven't reopened your schools. I know we're still not letting all of your restaurants reopen, but please give us more of the hard-earned money to pay for all of our socialist agenda. That's the focus right now at people's kitchen tables. They're saying, how much more of my money can I possibly give up? I'm totally strapped and I'm stressed, and I'm not seeing any help from the elected leaders.
Okay. Cassie Smedile, always a pleasure to have you on. Please come back again.
Thank you.